Why do we exist? What is life about? Many people have many theories. On this journey, what is the greatest obstacle standing in the path of our spiritual awakening? There are many different things that could stand in our way in us gaining more consciousness of who we really are. We are God, we are the creator. The single biggest obstacle I see in standing in our path of awakening is the divine matrix that we created.
My name is Garrett. I'm here to help entrepreneurs in the awakening journey.
Imagine yourself as a video game creator and you created this game, and if you think of the Truman Show, if you haven't watched the TV show, it's basically Jim Carrey. Jim Carrey, side note, he's played a lot of different characters that are quite challenging the reality paradigm. But back to the Truman Show, it's about this person that's born into almost like a reality TV show. But the difference is it's almost like Big Brother and reality TV show two smashed into one, where everyone around him, every single person, is an actor or actress. And so his whole world is based on this thing that is not real. Even the place that he's living at, everything is all made up, and there's advertisers and sponsors, everything is orchestrated. And towards the end, where he finally he's starting to get a hint that this is not real, this is kind of like made up. He paddled his boat all the way to the edge of the ocean, and finally he reveals it's a movie set that there is a limit. So the parallels that we have is, imagine we've created our universe. The only difference is it's so sophisticated, it's less simpler than the Truman Show that is a limit to the physical dimension of this reality. There's no limit. The ocean just keeps going on and on and on. And the characters are acting extremely realistic. Unlike a robot in today's age, where you talk to it, you can kind of see this is a robot, it's not a human being. It feels so real. This is more real than anything else out there that we know of, until you have actual multi-dimensional experiences, that you've traveled to other dimensions, that it becomes even more real than this current reality. But that's another different topics. So when the divine matrix is created, it may have started Adam and Eve, like just nature, forests, and some animals. And it's like, wow, imagine all you've experienced in the past is just nothingness, or maybe just dark space, or maybe a room full of like bright lights. And now you're getting stimulations. You're getting touch, you're getting smell, you get to feel different things with your skin, and you can feel the different temperatures, and you can see the different creatures, the different insects, the different plants, the different weather conditions. And you can build stuff with your hands, and you can run, you can jump. It's like a little kid. It's unlimited things for you to play with and just to distract yourself. You can get scared, you can feel loved, you can get lonely, you can get angry, you can get frustration, you can get bored. You got a range of emotions and ideas and thoughts and all these different things that you can do to keep yourself entertained. And when you're entertained, if you ever play the video games or watch the movie, you're so engrossed, you forgot that you're actually sitting on the chair, and rather than actually playing the game or watching a movie. Or if you're reading a book, the same thing as well. Time just flies past, or when you're doing some work that you're passionate about, or if you're cooking, when you're in flow, time just flies past. Well, when you're so engrossed, you don't think about, where am I? What am I doing? When am I sitting? What underwear am I wearing? What is life about? You just get entrenched. Your focus goes to whatever things that you're working on, right? So as the civilization started to become more sophisticated in the things that we started to build, collective consciousness, community coming together. Not that you just have Adam and Eve, you also have John and Peter and Sam, and then you got other languages and other people, other race and other religions and other schools, other books, other movies, other CDs, other music, the entertainments, and other food, other cuisines, other currencies, other destinations, other sceneries. It just got more and more complex as we go. Just look at the gender these days. How many gender are there? Rather than just male and female. Now, I'm not saying that any of this is wrong, but just imagine this. If one or two things can, just back in the days when there's nothing to do, like a lot of the kids, when you send them out into nature these days, what's there to do? Where's my iPad? Where's my devices? Where's the TV? There's nothing to do. Less about like the preteens, I'm talking about the older kids that used to devices, used to other forms of entertainment. That's nothing to do. But yet, as someone that just came down to the planet, or even any of the younger kids, they would find complete fascination with just nature alone, without any of these extra restaurants, movies, music, and dramas, and all these different entertainments, distractions that we created for ourselves as the co-creator. And from that, before long, you just forget it. And what is one of the ways I could relate to you? If you try to remember a telephone number, like 8-digit, 10-digit number, you keep repeating and repeating, I'll remember it, 5, 6, 8, 10, or 5, 6, 7, 2, 2, 5, 1, 3. Imagine that. You keep repeat it multiple times and keep repeating it, and then someone asks you, hey, can you hand me that dish? Can you cook this? Can you go run to the grocery store? Can you help me solve this problem? Can you type this letter out? Imagine that. Just doing some simple exercise is quite easy for us to forget that number, right? Let's just say that continue on for another 2 days, 3 days, 4 days. Eventually, unless you have really developed a good way to train your mind to remember things, you're one of those people that can remember like 50 names in a row, well, be careful not to seed any limitations into you. But unless you've done those trainings, it is highly possible that you would have forgotten what that 10-digit number is after 4 or 5 days, right? If you can still remember it, try 20 digits. My point being is that when the distraction goes long enough, is entertaining enough. Entertaining doesn't have to be enjoyable entertaining. If someone is scolding at you, if there's an accident, there's a bushfire, there's a robbery taking place, whether it's at your house or someone else's house, someone is beating someone up, or someone is beating an animal up, or it's a tiger chewing up someone's arm, whatever it is, you get distracted soon enough, your attention just gets sucked into whatever that is so entertaining that draws your attention away to 10 or 20 digits number, and you're gonna forget. Not only have we wiped our memory clean when we are incarnated on this planet, but with all those distractions, it makes it even more challenging to remember who we really are. We came down here to experience. We didn't come down here to get in and get out ASAP. This is not a rescue mission, at least not at the very beginning. If you a designer and created a game, you want to just build one building, or actually build a single park bench, maybe with a tree on the side, and you say, well, you know what, I get to go into the game as a character, let me just go in and as that character and sit on the park bench, and then with one tree just look around and nothing else, and okay, let's just get out of the game, because that's pretty boring, right? Let me design other elements within the game, and if it's not as interesting, you keep designing and designing and designing until it becomes more and more interesting. But irony is, when it becomes more interesting, the probability of you losing yourself in the game, almost like a maze, is even higher. So how do we get out? Well, Einstein said this, or at least it's been translated, and paraphrasing what he said, the same level of thinking cannot solve the same challenges that those problems arises from. A lot of the problems that we are facing is from a 3D thinking, 3D, well, physical dimension thinking. And if we wanted to solve a lot of the worldly problem, and also how do we get out of the matrix, we gotta think, okay, logically, let's build a space rocket to get out. We need to elevate our thinking to another level of consciousness. That what if there's a greater power that we can level up beyond what we currently know? And if you study a lot of the spiritual master or the ancient scriptures, through the meditation, the dream world, medicines, being in dark room, These are some of the way breath work and some of the other paths of getting there. Some people just spontaneously awaken. Those are the standard practice in how you get out of the matrix. As much as we can leave breadcrumbs around, you're not going to get taught on how to get out of the matrix in today's age because it'll be too easy. We've created the whole experience for you to have to go through a hero's journey to awaken beyond our ego self. It feels like it's a quest. It can be a struggle, it can be a challenge if you choose to look at it that way, but it can be extremely fun. We created this game together as one. We are one. And now it's time. If you look at the latest Avengers movie, the title is Endgame. We're at the endgame now. More and more things is the polarity is becoming more extreme with climate, with political tensions, and even the way that we treat each other. But yet there's bubbles of pockets of people are awakening more and more and more. These people may not be all vocal in running for presidencies or running for local councils or starting up social enterprises. Some of these people are just aware and holding space for others. But in order to shift to a different dimension, I believe, this is my personal belief, is that in this multi-dimension and parallel universe that we're running, each one of us can choose the path. We can choose to remain in this current paradigm, which in this world of infinite possibility, there is a possibility this human race will become extinct, just like the dinosaurs. If you can't fix yourself up, maybe we just have to eradicate the human race because it's destroying the planet. We have to try something else from the beginning. You may think that, hey, it will take a long time. Time is an illusion, but even if it's not, if you look at what science has prescribed, saying that the planet has been around for 13.8 billion years, and mankind has only been around 75,000, 100,000 years, like at most, there's plenty of time. We've only been here for a very short time and we're almost responsible to bring the whole planet to destruction. So Mother Earth or the universe say, you know what, this isn't working, this experiment is coming to an end. Or even if there's no greater force, eventually if we drain the earth of all the resources, pollute whatever that needs to pollute, or maybe one country decided to throw one bomb at the next and the whole world start to blow up, oh, that's it. That's the end game. I don't have the solution to solve a lot of these worldly problems, but how do I find peace from within? Because the matrix is always the left and the right. The Republic and the Democrat, the male and the female, the right and the wrong, the good and the ugly, like all this yin-yang and polarity that's always fighting with each other. When I look at a lot of this situation, there isn't an ultimate right, ultimate correctness on one side or the next. Everyone have their uniqueness on how that perspective is serving a purpose. For example, this bushfire going around in Australia right now is devastating for a lot of the animals, for the plants, and people that have lost loved ones or their homes in this journey. And I'm not supporting this should happen at all from the human perspective, but from a global perspective, from a universal spiritual perspective, who's to say this is not supposed to happen? Who's to say this is not the planet detoxing itself and sending a certain message? I don't know, I'm not smart enough, but if we're not arguing with reality, it is what it is. If we want to get out of the divine matrix that we created, it's time to wake up. It's time to reflect on internal. How do we find peace? How do we find love amongst these conflicts? And a lot of these conflicts, I believe, starts from within, from internally generated. When we're not at peace with ourselves, when there's disaster that strike, I'm not saying that you shouldn't feel pain, you shouldn't feel anger, you shouldn't feel any negative emotions, but beyond the present moment, you're waking up in the middle of the night thinking about it, the next day you're still thinking about it, and the next day you're still thinking about it. Does that help anyone? Am I telling you to put a positive spin on it? No. But let's just say if the bushfire happened and you feel for the victim, by sitting in a pity corner, it's not going to help anyone. If you can't help yourself and it's feeling that way, then it's perfect in its imperfection. So don't need to feel bad or guilty about it. But if you want to transcend beyond that experiences, well, that's no good. Next doesn't mean that, hey, you go back to your normal life. If you choose to, well, what can I do? Maybe I can donate, maybe I can lend my help for support, maybe I can come up with a better way to solve some of these climate change issues or solve some of these bushfire issues, like turn it into some positive action. Or how do I be more sympathetic to people and empathetical to it? But if internally we are having conflicts, and I'm seeing a lot of people on social media started blaming the government, blaming the planning, blaming this, blaming that, should have, could have, would have. But all these are adding more negative energy towards what this whole problem really began. It began from fear and driving and more fear, more fear, more fear. What if you just turn the whole situation? Man, some people need love, and these people get overwhelmingly more love. And a lot of people have gone through disaster, and they can tell you that they would not take those disasters away from them, whether it's financial collapse or going through a relationship breakdown or health issues or even loss of loved ones. That's the divine path that they're on or the family is on. There's no need to change. He helped to build up who they really are, to experience the things that they wanted to experience in life and to become the person they wanted to become in life.